When you learn to manage perception, you can leave a lasting impression. Welcome back to part 4, our final in a series of tips on how to make your small business look a lot bigger. Enjoy. Verbal persuasion in networking. When you're networking, what's a very common question? How's business? I've noticed that the small fish will typically speak in terms of generalities. Business is up or down or stable. The medium fish will typically speak in terms of a year. We're doing pretty well this year. This year we're up 7%. And the big fish usually will speak in terms of quarters. This quarter we're up 7% over last year. So if you want to create an image of being a big fish, speak in terms of quarters and use figures. It makes you look smart and it makes your company look bigger. On a side note, at the beginning of a year, almost everybody will answer the question of how's business talking about a year-end figure, and that's fine. But as the year progresses, the more specific you are, the better. One of the most powerful laws of persuasion is the law of scarcity. Think about it. A busy Friday night, you go past a restaurant and there's only a few tables where there are people. You usually will think twice before going into that restaurant. It might not be true, but a lot of times you wonder why there's so few people there. Conversely, if you see a line in front of a restaurant, you might not want to wait, but you know that your perception of that restaurant, it must be good. Look at the line. That's called creating scarcity. When there's not a lot of seats left, people want to be in that restaurant more. The question is, how do we make this law of scarcity work for you? One of the biggest mistakes that a lot of smaller companies make, and networkers who aren't yet busy, what they do is when they're making an appointment, they say, what time next week is good? Or I'm free all day Thursday. These things are making you like that restaurant that has only a few people sitting at their tables. It's much better when you're making an appointment to show that you're busy and show that your time is scarce, because then there's a subliminal, subconscious message where they feel, wow, I'm glad that I can get in with this person. They must be good at what they do. Whatever it is. How do you do that? When you're making plans, you can say, I'm not available Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, but Friday, and then toss out 2 times. By the way, another tip is, if you give an off time, like 3:20 instead of 3 o'clock, or 4:40 instead of 4:30, people tend to think you're very organized, very sharp, and very busy, and they tend to respect your time more. So make sure that you take advantage of those little tips. You'll create the right impression. Finally, our last tip, probably the most important. If you really want to create the image of a big fish, the best thing to do when you network is to study the big fish. Watch what those people are doing, how they're saying it, what their business cards look like, how they're dressed, and emulate those things so that you'll create the impression of being a big fish, and ultimately you'll be able to get big fish business. Lots of luck. If you're already on my blog, great, thanks for being here. If you're not on my blog and you're on YouTube right now, if you click somewhere right over here, you'll see a link to my blog. Also, check out the 2-hour lecture on the power of persuasion, which is instantly downloadable. If you're on my blog, it's right down here. It's a great investment for you to start achieving the things that you deserve. Enjoy. Thanks.